Hey there, hi there, ho there. This is RHJunior, RHJunior Reality Check coming to you live over the internet through a series of tubes known as the boob tube of YouTube. Hold on. Hello. Yes, we're live. Barely live. Coming to you before a barely live audience. This is yet another broadcasting of your favorite show and my favorite show, Spleen Squeezins. 2, 3, 4, Freemity from a safe firm. I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never known what I am doing. I am completely at a loss. Help me. Now that one makes me look like we're retreating faster. Just try this one. Yes. Okay, that's different. Okay, let's watch that one for a while. Darn stupid. Okay, it's been another day and it's been another night, and right now, you know what? I just want to go to sleep. I don't want to do anything anymore. I just want to sleep, and tired of sleeping all the time. I'm tired of being tired all the time. I let's see here. Change font size 20. Save. No. Okay, it's YouTuber 1752. He's in the audience. He's here with us. Oh, God have mercy on his soul. How you doing, bud? Okay. As always, I'm never sure how loud the music is, so y'all are gonna have to step up and say, this doesn't sound right. Your music is too darn loud. Thank you. Thank you. That was our nasal report. All right. Okay, let's see. Oh, a little something to update here. Let's see here. Text. Gotta edit that one. No, that's not in there. It's here somewhere. Where is it? So if it's not up there, and it's not up there. Ah, there we go. Okay, I just wanted to edit this. We've gotten a $10 donation and a $5 donation over the past couple of days, so it's update that to $15. Yay! I have a goal of $1,000 because I like to dream big. Well, actually, I like to dream. I actually like to dream of being in the black. But moving on. Can't hear my music. It can't hear my freaking music. They cannot hear my freaking music. How's that? Can you hear it now? There's a bit of a time delay. You can only hear my voice. Okay, I just turned it up a little bit. Can you hear it? Tell me when you can hear it. If you can hear it. There's like a 30-second delay. between my voice and the broadcast and people responding in the window. So that kind of sucks. Okay, yeah, that's full volume. Boy. Him dabba bob, bim babba bob. That's sort of greenish, in case I haven't told you, I am partially colorblind, so it makes getting good coloration in just kind of tricky. Let's see if I got the right window open. No, I haven't got the right window up. Window capture 2. There we go. Yeah, I know. It's late. It's way past Halloween, but this is a desktop that's going up on the Patreon site because and I've sort of given up hope of doing timely seasonal drawings. I'm lucky just to get them up. Period. Uh, it's really aggravating because I look at this, I can't see the colors right. When you're trying to do more quality stuff, that's kind of a heartbreaker. Spent most of this past weekend sleeping again. So really didn't. Had some guy griping about my fan fictions again. He made a comment something along the lines of it's nothing but a complaint fiction. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. This isn't a story. It's a boring story because all they do is complain about what's wrong with the setting. And I'm like, first off, dude, if you don't like it when your beloved canon setting is criticized, you are really in the wrong location on the web. And second of all, it wouldn't kill you to actually read one of my stories before you actually criticize it. And so he came back a day later. I swear to God, the man, I don't think this was an actual man. So I don't know. No gender determination there. Just basically, I want to put up another post that says, damn, brother, you put in more effort into complaining about the story than I put in actually writing it. He was griping about parting words. I make no apology for the fact that most of my fictions start out largely as fictions, as they like to say. Because I do, don't lie to yourselves, kids. Don't lie to yourselves. The only reason that you're writing fan fiction is because you think the way that it went in the story sucks, and you think you could do better. And that you have a better idea of how it should have gone. And I'm like, fine, take your pen and paper and go write yourself a story, that's where fan fiction comes from. Dissatisfied customers. Very few indeed want to actually expand on previous work without changing it or undoing some major part of it. And this is part and parcel to why the comic book industry has gone so deeply into the toilet. Because long before the SJWs turned up, the toucan-haired she-harpies started springing out of the works. You had the attack of the fanboys, and where people who had been fans back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s showed up. Took over the industry and said, and promptly declared they hated everything that had happened since they were 10 years old, and proceeded to try and undo everything that the writers had done in the past 20 to 25 years. And, it basically sucked. Anyway. They came in there, and you ended up with things like the Spider-Man clone saga. Then you ended up with even worse things like One More Day and the Civil War, and it was just a bunch of fat old fans having a hissy fit and a squabble down in the bullpen. And they basically wrecked 20, 30 years of continuity in some cases, so that they could pad out their pet shibboleth in the story. their pet issues. And after all the dust settled, the feminists looked in and said, "Whoa, open territory, free real estate," and proceeded to wreck what was left. And away we go. You know, pile in a bunch of fanboys having a hissy slap fight because they thought that Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker were the one true pairing. Never mind that the fans of the comics actually liked Mary Jane and were thrilled to death to see Peter Parker finally get a lucky break and marry the girl of his dreams. God forbid. But anyway, that's my pet peeve right there. But while they were all squabbling over which part of the canon of the past 25 years they were going to flush down the toilet, the feminists saw their chance. The feminists and the social activist twit monkeys and the gay pride rallies and the LGBTQ BBQ XYZ ABCD LSD came rampage again, and that was it. Do I sound bitter? Because it's completely intentional. Then they tried to replace Peter Parker. They deliberately, Miles Morales was not a spinoff. He was an attempt to replace Peter Parker. With a half black, half Hispanic kid. Oh, double PC points! Yay! There's nothing more gruesomely obvious than somebody trying to, some limperess trying to get PC points. Oh, coincidentally, I'm expecting, someday, very soon, they're going to ban my channel. I figure they will. They recently changed policies again. The man whores running Google have changed YouTube policy again. And they're basically going around informing us that they can, if they decide our channel isn't making enough money, they can delete it, on a whim. Just. So I figure, they've already made it clear what their intentions are. Their intentions are to be rid of any channel that isn't PC enough for them. And, here we are. So I don't make no money at this. I don't make any money at all from this live stream. Uh, like nothing. Diddly over squat. So if some she-male listens into this channel, just some Che Guevara chested, technicolor-haired, social activist listens into this, and gets triggered, kiss this channel goodbye. I am looking into alternatives. There's Twitch. And who else? There's a couple of alternatives, not for live streaming so far as I can tell, but for putting up pre-recorded stuff online, they got that. If they go ahead with it, they're tumbling. Yeah, this is basically the last straw. They are tumblerizing themselves. As you recall, Tumblr was already on the rocks because it was just a screaming pit of leftist dimwits. And their 10,000 cats and their 20,000 triggers. But they decided, Tumblr had the brilliant idea of banning all adult artwork. And what a surprise! They lost how many? I think they lost something like $11 million, or maybe even more. I'm not sure. They basically lost all the business they had. Not that I'm approving of the adult artwork. It was just. But let's face facts. That they weren't going to make their money back being a outlet for intellectual discussion. Hello. And suddenly, they've got no. They've got nothing but angry feminists. Farewell Tumblr, we knew thee well. And now YouTube, which was founded on the idea of giving people free access, that television did not. It gave them free access to publish, and broadcast, their own stuff online for little to no money. And they would make money off, like, advertising. But no, they're going to shoot themselves right in the crotch with this. They're going to turn it into a, pay or don't play service. That's what they're going to do. And only those with the right, politically correct formula are going to be allowed to play on YouTube. It's already started. They've banned several conservative and right-wing and men's rights sites and just general conservative sites. And meanwhile, they got on the most spurious reasons. They're cheating one guy out of thousands of dollars to boot because they owed him, a huge monthly paycheck. When they suddenly came out of the blue and banned him for some arbitrary reason. Somebody's going to call in and say, her eyes are supposed to be green, not blue. She wears colored contacts. Even Ben isn't sure what her eye color is anymore. There was a joke. There was a strip with that in it. So, you can't say nothing. So there, yeah. Anyway, it looks like there's no telling when YouTube is going to spit its bit and throw me off channel for being politically incorrect and nasty and mean and hateful and being a Nazi and everything. Welcome to my future. This is the crap we put up with. We put up with businesses trying to have it both ways. They're trying to have it both ways. They're trying to get the control and gatekeeping authority of a private institution, but they want the civil rights protections of an open domain, of a public forum, and they want to play it both ways at the same time. And they want to have their cake and eat it too. Yeah, you got there are days I fantasize about rounding these people up, hog tying them with their butts in the air, and just taking a 2x4 and ladling some Board of Education on them till their backsides are popping out of their foreheads. Like you can't, you can either be a private company and be responsible for everything that's on being broadcast, or you can be a public forum in which you have to let people you don't agree with take advantage of the resources you're providing. You can't have it both ways. No one should. No one can, and no one should. But nobody's going to listen to that. Nobody's going to listen to me. Nobody's going to listen to anybody. One guy asked why Americans get so outraged. We get so much more. We pull up so much more outrage when our corporations start pulling censorship. Start pulling crap than when our politicians do. Um, Several people. I mean, I was like fifth off the blocks. Let's put it because they generally came out with, the general response was in the veins of because corporations at least have to listen to their customers. You can hold. You can hold a company hostage to their bank account. You can't do that to a politician. Because there is such a divorce between where he gets his money and where he gets his votes. He's in a perfect win-win situation. No matter what he does, he gets lots of votes. He stays in power, and corporations keep throwing money at him to try and keep him from tearing their throats out. If he gets voted out of office, he's got all this money that companies threw, that special interests threw at him to try and get him to not vote stupid for once. And he leaves with his pockets packed full. A corporation, at least American citizens know how to make a corporation suffer. I use for you the current example of the Hong Kong protests. Blizzard Entertainment, producer of League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and dozens of other games that mega $1 million corporation and company, and their recent League of Legends champion stood up and he said, in front of their cameras, he stood up and said, free Hong Kong, basically. He spoke out. He said, I want to take a moment to speak out on behalf of those brave people fighting for democracy in Hong Kong. And the Blizzard company, just absolute shrivel nut raisin dick cowards. I mean, the spokespeople who were sitting behind the microphones dove off the stage so they would not be on camera at the same time as this guy. That's how bad it was. And they banned him for half a year from playing the game. They confiscated his winnings. And they expected everybody to roll over for it. Well, in case you might have not guessed, this flew up the Blizzard fans' nose. People started canceling their Blizzard accounts by the thousands. It got so many, the Blizzard company actually log jammed their computers, shut it down so that people couldn't delete their accounts, which I'm fairly certain is a crime. They were taking the players and the fans were furious, and ever since that day, the players have been using Blizzard, the Blizzard CEOs, nutset for a speed bag, man. When's it going to stop? Yeah, I said it. I said it out loud. And, the rest of the internet community decided to get in on the act too. What they did is, just, okay, evil. They decided to stick the screws to Blizzard in a way they could not ignore. Now, there is this one character, a Chinese character, a very cute girl, in the game Overwatch. Her name is Mei, I believe, and she is supposed to be Chinese. She has a ice ray gun. Ice is her theme, but they passed this idea around. What we're going to do? We're going to start making memes of Mei as a protester for Hong Kong's freedom, and fans broke out the pens and went to work. They made fan artwork of her, wearing the dust masks and carrying the umbrella and waving the flag, the Hong Kong flag, and the next thing you know, we're turning on the news. And there are Hong Kong protesters out there with posters of Mei. You could almost hear the screaming from the Blizzard executive offices from here. Because, the despots ruling Hong Kong aren't going to put up with that nonsense. You better believe they're out there licking boots like nobody's business, trying to keep the tyrants of China from banning Blizzard entirely. They've already banned anything with Winnie the Pooh on it for a similar reason. Apparently the Chinese Prime Minister, for some reason somebody decided he looked like Winnie the Pooh and made the comparison, and now they can't they can't show anything with Winnie the Pooh on it. It comes down to this: most people don't give a damn about the government, and it's only sensible because the best kind of government is the one where you don't give a damn about it, and it doesn't give a damn about you. You don't notice it. It's not there. It doesn't bother you in your day-to-day life. Most people, we're talking a sleeping giant here. The vast majority of people who are supposedly undecided, they're not. They're slumbering. They've come to the conclusion. Most people have come to the conclusion that it's on the news. It's 1,000 miles away. It doesn't bother me. But when it finally crosses a threshold, holy crap! That line of no return. All sorts of crap will bust loose. Now you take the average gamer, basement dwelling, living in a trailer, just not caring about anything. Just give him his Mountain Dew and his ring-dings and his Cheetos and his game system, and he's content with the world. He's at peace with the world. But it's not like they don't care about the things outside the front door. It's just that they don't have a real justification for getting torqued out of shape about it. But when the would-be penny ante, piss-pot tyrants of the world start kicking in their front door, They find out they've woken a sleeping giant. An angry grizzly bear comes out of hibernation. You know what I'm saying? This is what happened with Gamergate. Gamers couldn't have cared less about all this feminist crap that everybody was blowing around. They said, fine. You want your feminist deals? Fine, great. Just, go do your thing. Go you do your thing. You don't want us. You always complain. We're just going to go over here, mind our business, play our little games, eat our little bag of Cheetos, mind our own business. And that wasn't enough for the feminists. They jumped on board the wagon, and they jumped on their hobby horses and rode in like the flight of the you're sexist because we say so. You're sexist and made life. They woke up the hibernating bear, man. And as one guy did it, he did a meme of that one scene from Batman, The Dark Knight, where some guy figures out Batman's identity and tells Lucius, he tells him that he's going to blackmail Batman, and the guy looks at him, the groovy voice. He says, "Let me get this straight. You believe that you have discovered that the most, one of the wealthiest, most influential and powerful men in Gotham dresses up in armor and goes out and beats criminals half to death with his bare fists. And you're going to blackmail this person? Good luck." Well, I saw a version that said, "Let me get this straight. You're going to go after gamers. Gamers, a group of people who will spend days without sleep pursuing arbitrary little rewards and achievement marks in a game. They will spend days without sleep, being harassed and insulted and subjected to unbelievable levels of profanity in pursuit of a tiny little imaginary trophy. And you're going to try and wear them down by insulting them. Good luck." Call it whatever you like. But you eventually reach a point where you piss off the common people. This is what's happening in Hong Kong. All these students out in the street, all these kids out in the street, all these people out in the street. You think they're doing it to get out of class? No, they have been pushed just one step too far. These are the people that spent all their time, sat at home and didn't, and didn't worry about the government. But then finally, it went too far. Now this is how the American Revolution kicked off. The Boston Tea Party. Think on it. The Boston Tea Party. What we consider a minuscule, what we today would consider a minuscule tax, was enough to drive the colonists into a berserker rage. Everybody has a threshold. Everybody. and these corporations are pushing as are damned well pushing as hard as they can to reach it. And they're starting to pay the price. The newest saying in Hollywood is "Get woke, go broke," because all this PC nonsense is resulting in box office bombs. They're discovering to their shock and horror that, hey, they've got competitors now. And they can't get away with, they don't have a monopoly anymore. Their monopoly was already shaky 50 years ago. They don't have anything left. And the average people are just not going to put up with it anymore. No, nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to pay for a movie ticket where they have to sit there and listen to somebody bash their country or their faith, or try and shove so-called alternate lifestyles down their throat. They're tired of it. They're sick of it, and they've been staying away from in droves. Now they've crossed a threshold. People are just leaving empty theaters. The remake of this new trilogy. It's basically a remake where they're basically uprooting everything about the original Star Wars trilogy. They made it great, throwing it in the toilet and flushing it. And just shoveling in a little girl power on the side. Let's get rid of that. It's not working. Will civilization win? That's the big question. Will civilization win this ongoing catfight? Will people, will the fans and just people in general who value, will the people who value freedom of speech and press and religion, will they win the day? Will the people who even value quality in the content they view, will they be able to stand their ground and force these people to change course? That's the big question. we need to couch this. This isn't just a fight over people who thinks that the latest movies suck, okay? This isn't just quibbling over our light entertainment, but we have to couch this in more important terms, because it is important. What it is more than just quibbling, over what we're allowed to say on television. It's about American corporations importing foreign censorship to our shores. These are American companies that are supposed to be responding to American interests and American demands. And they're supposed to be honoring American rights. But no, they're genuflecting at every possible opportunity to China, in the hopes that maybe if they debase and degrade themselves enough, maybe they'll get a big slice of the big old Chinese pie. I want to drag Nixon up out of his grave and just beat the shit out of him. You know that? He sold this country's soul out to the Chinese. He turned our stable economy into a rapidly spiraling inflational doomsday machine with fiat currency. He took us off the gold standard and put us on complete fiat currency. And the inflationary rate has been through the roof ever since. Just those two acts alone would be enough to hang him as a traitor. Because there are acts that, there are acts that only somebody who wanted to destroy this country would engage in. They're acts that, somebody with the intellect of a child might be talked into. But not somebody who's a politician in this country, not somebody who's a statesman. And what are we doing now? We are bending over backwards, letting the Chinese tell us letting the Chinese tell us what qualifies as freedom of speech now. That is screwed up beyond all possible measure. This may be the only way, what the fans are doing now, tackling the corporation, may be the only way to get through to the politicians too. Because the way the system is run right now, it's the corporations that provide the politicians all their funding. And that's not necessarily the fault of the politicians either. Actually, it's the fault of people who tried to reform political funding, quote unquote. They weren't trying to reform it. They were trying to write an incumbent protection bill, because they made it impossible for the average Joe to make donations to. Basically, let's put it this way: if Ronald Reagan had to jump through the hoops for funding that the average politician does today, he would have never been elected. It hasn't slowed down the leftists in the least. It hasn't slowed down the hasn't slowed down the Democrats in the least. In getting their dirty money. But it's certainly kept a lot of honest, God-fearing, honorable, respectable politicians from even entering the field. And they made it so that politicians have no choice but to go hat in hand, schmoozing the corporations for cash. And this isn't it isn't a great deal for the corporations either. Because, when somebody's paying Dane Geld, it's not the one paying the Dane Geld that has the upper hand. It's the Dane. Look that up if you have to figure out what it means. Because it's protection money. A lot of these big corporations, yeah, they buy massive amounts of political influence, but a lot of them are basically paying protection money. Because let me put it this way: Bill Gates, the inventor of Microsoft, started out working out of his own garage, became a multi-billionaire, and made a multi-billion-dollar company that makes that creates thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs. Created one of the most important pieces of software that has ever entered the system. He was, his stuff was fundamental in making both computers and the internet accessible to the common man. Whether you like him or not, you'll have to pardon me because I like him better than I like Steve Jobs. But one of the things was back in the 80s, it came out he didn't used to make political donations. He didn't donate to either party. And come around 1990, Bill Clinton gets in power. What a surprise! Suddenly, out of the blue, Bill Gates and Microsoft are being investigated. All sorts of ridiculous accusations are being brought up against them. One of the things they tried to make a big deal about is the fact that he included Microsoft Windows. He included Internet Explorer with Windows, but he didn't include Netscape Navigator or any of the other competing browsers with his Microsoft Windows. Somebody had to stand up and point it out to them. This is like demanding that this is like demanding that the Coca-Cola company sell at least one bottle of Pepsi with every six-pack. But they tried to push it through, and they came close. And you'll notice that after that, Bill Gates and Microsoft now make regular donations to both political parties. Things that make it go, That's the world that resulted from so-called campaign finance reform, where politicians have to go and schmooze every corporate a-hole they can find, in every union, in every organization, other than the individual American citizen, for help getting elected. As it stands now, though, the only way we're going to start making, it's been demonstrated. We've demonstrated that we can start making change. Blizzard is slowly, painfully crawfishing on the whole deal, where they banned that one player. And before you say anything, oh, well, they have to have regulations so they don't have any political blah, 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 blah. They had gay pride flag wavers all over their broadcasts. And they had all sorts of other it wasn't the fact that he was getting political. It was the fact that he was political about something that was politically incorrect. Excuse me. Because Blizzard barely make, I think like 13% of their filthy lucre is from China. Barely a fraction. In fact, actually, I believe it's something like 3%. But they're willing to sell their soul and throw their customer base under the bus to pander to the murderous tyrants that run China. Don't even get me started on Google. Those crap weasels are unbelievable too. Now, we are going to have to bend these people over, spank them hard, and tell them, no, you are not going to import Chinese censorship to American shores. Now, just saying all that is just about guaranteed that somebody's going to get start crying in their crying towel, throw a fit, and go running to mommy and daddy and get my channel banned. And since this is more serious than it sounds, because I use Gmail for all my email purposes. Fortunately, I just made sure to secure another email source so that I don't have to worry so much. If things go south, I've got another one. Email me at rhjunior.com. I haven't really started using it yet, but it's there. So if things go south, and they've had several people get their channels banned, they've gotten their accounts shut down and banned for some damn foolishness. Not even political. These people, they were accused of spamming one particular. A guy had set up a special broadcast he was doing where there were two buttons, a red one and a green one, and you chose what he'd do next. And YouTube came through and they banned, everybody that used the buttons because they were spamming the buttons And on top of everything else, they shut down their Gmail as well. which had nothing to do with that, but they did it anyway. And YouTube and Google refused to say anything or do anything. The guy that run the channel, he's talking to them, trying to get them to rewind their decision. Thousands of people are complaining. Why did you shut us off for? We didn't break any rules. Doesn't matter. The Google runs YouTube, and Google is run by a bunch of wretched, amoral, bulldyke metrosexuals who haven't got the brains to wipe their own ass, or the morals of a pig in heat, because they'll screw over the people that are doing all the work and providing all the content, trying to pander to people who don't even watch the dang program. I don't expect anything good of this. So that I know what to expect. I've seen how they treat other people that are 1,000 times more profitable than me. So okay, you say here, YouTuber, you say he does. He does what? I do not know what you are talking about. I have lost track of the conversation. I'm just having to wait for an answer here. It's a slow means of communications, but it is a means of communication. So Okay. Okay, what was it? He does what? A YouTuber, 1752. You said he does. Well, he does what? You tell me nothing. I gotta wait. Dude, seriously. Answer the question. I'm old. I'm liable to keel over dead at any moment. I would like the answer before I do so. Hate it when people do that. I swear I do. YouTuber, please respond. Really, seriously, damn it already. Come on, you can't answer this simple question. What are you talking about? He does what? No, you're not going to. You're not going to answer. You're gonna leave me. He's sitting here talking into a microphone for a half hour. Why? Is this funny? Is this amusing? Okay, there are two people in this channel. One of them's YouTuber. Who else is out there? And if you're in reach of YouTuber, punch him. Just really pushing my last button here, you know. This is all I am. You know, nobody's going to talk about what I've said. Nobody's ever going to think about the arguments I've made, or the points I've made, or the facts I've pointed out. They're going to be talking about. Oh, he was so mean. He said such hurtful things. This is why I'm so mean. Because people are so freaking rude with me. He's not a real person. He's background noise. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm having to lie back. Keep from popping a fuse. Nobody bothers to talk to me. Why do you do this? Are you watching this? Or pick up the receiver. Sit in front of the keyboard and type something. Angry and I'm fit to be tied. I get head up over things. I do. Because it seems like nobody else out there in the world cares. gotta tell you, I am old. And don't give me that crap. Oh, I'm 50 something and you're only 48. You know, that's not old. Yes, it is. It's old. In the 1950s, I'd probably be bedridden. In the 1700s, I'd be dead. Caveman years, I'm dead. I have 3 nieces and 1 grandniece. That's freaking old. Okay, now to move them over. That's your answer? Makes you wonder what it's all about? Uh, you left me sitting here for nearly 15 minutes waiting for you to answer a simple question. And imagine my joy. Imagine my joy being ignored for 15 minutes straight. I'm sorry. I am just in such an angry mood right now. I'm just so angry. Yay! I have a new patron. 101 patrons. 101 patrons in the new post. Image. Okay, post, 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 posty, post, post, posty, post, 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 image. Alright, alright, alright. Let's see. And there we go. Two thingamies up on the Patreon page. I've been guzzling chocolate milk today. I just got like two canisters of Ovaltine and going through milk like nobody's business. Mm. Okay, well, that gets the November desktop up on the Patreon. And also gets up a new drawing for the patrons. It's, 2%. It's November 11th, 8 p.m. Should probably stop doing those. Okay, I ain't gonna lie about it. I'm pooped. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I hope I feel better in the morning. Y'all take care of yourselves, okay? Good night.